In the current syllabus, we have an IA1, which is any topic from Unit 3, an IA2, which is a 2-hour exam, which has to cover all of Unit 3, or a representative sample, and an IA3, which again has to cover all of Unit 4. Now, the new syllabus, the 2025 syllabus, a little bit different. So the IA1 can do any topic at all from Unit 3 or Unit 4. So we're really spoilt for choice there, get to do lots of cool, new, fun stuff, I think. The IA2 is not a 2-hour exam, it's a 90-minute exam, and you only have to cover 3 out of the 5 topics from Unit 3. And the IA3 is the same, only 3 out of the 5 topics from Unit 4. So we're really going to get a big opportunity for a whole choose your own adventure type scenario. So in the old syllabus, the one we're currently in, planning out your assessment has been pretty straightforward. So you would have these topics. These are our Unit 3 topics, and then all of Unit 4. So you could think of it like this, because you had 3 assessment items, IA1, IA2, IA3, and you had to work with what you have here. So generally, most schools did something like put your IA1 after bivariate data analysis, put your IA2 at the end of Unit 3, because you've got to cover all those topics, and then put your IA3 at the end of Unit 4. Now, there might be a small amount of variation here. So I can imagine that some schools are doing their IA1 after time series analysis and doing an IA1 on time series analysis. Maybe there's a few schools doing topics here, but I'm not sure. I haven't spoken to many people that are doing those topics. That's the syllabus that we're currently in. Now, in the new syllabus, you've got to think about it totally different, because you've got all of these topics from Unit 3 and Unit 4. So the topics haven't really changed, but you really do have more of an opportunity to consider sequencing them in totally new and interesting ways. So, for example, let's bring our IA1, IA2, and IA3 again. We can put our IA1 after bivariate data like we did before. And then we can do these 3 topics and do IA2. Now, when we're doing that IA2, we can just do it on these 3 topics. We can just ignore these topics and say, well, we did them in the PSMT, we're not going to do them here. And then you could do what you've traditionally done and do all of Unit 4 and then do your exam. To me, that doesn't seem like something we're going to do, though, because you only have to cover 3 of these topics. So I can imagine a lot of us might move towards a model that looks a bit like this, doing just the annuity stuff first, and then the first bit of networks, and then an exam, and then covering all of the Hungarian algorithms and stuff like that after our IA3. But this is probably as close as you can get to the current syllabus, but we've got so much freedom. You could do it in a whole bunch of different ways. So, for example, why don't we do something like this? Do 3 topics, and then do our exam first, not our PSMT. And then why don't we do a little bit of Unit 4, loans, investment, annuities, and a PSMT. I don't know how you'd feel about a PSMT on loans, investments, and annuities, but it'd be interesting. That'd be something new and interesting for us to look at. And then you can do 3 topics, the rest of the 3 topics from Unit 4, and then do your IA3, and then you can finish with Earth geometry and time series analysis. So breaking up Unit 3 here and here, and then 2 assessments on Unit 4. Very, very different to our current setup. What else could we do? We could do something like this. So 3 and then an exam, 3 and then an exam, and then do networks and decisions and a PSMT on networks and decisions. PSMT on Hungarian algorithm, PSMT on minimum spanning trees, all sorts of really fun, I think, PSMTs that you could do with network and decision math. So I'm super excited about the freedom. You could even do something like starting with Unit 4. Start with graphs and networks, and then a little bit of network stuff, and then do your PSMT, and then do 3 Unit 3s, 3 Unit 4s, and then finish off with a couple of Unit 3s at the end before your exam. So I am very excited about where this leads. I think we've got all sorts of opportunities for creativity to work within our own specific spaces. A school, you've got very specific things towards your school. So I'm excited about this.